Impromptu morning boxing talks. It's a very big week in the sport of boxing. It is. You know, there's a lot of things happening this weekend. But that's not necessarily why I went live. I went live due to the prevalent rumors that Showtime may be out of boxing beyond this year. It's something that I've talked about repeatedly here on the channel because it's a distinct possibility. Whether people want to accept that or not, that's up to them. But it's definitely something that could happen, you know? So, we're going to have that conversation. Juan, que lo que, manín? You already know. I couldn't wait, Michael. I couldn't wait. You right. You know me too well. I couldn't wait. Got my screenshots already and all of that. You know what I mean? And yeah, so, basically, the rumor indicates that Showtime may be out of boxing very soon. It was Rick Glacier. He's the one who talked about it more recently. He's a big part of the reason I decided to go live for this one because I feel like it's a bigger conversation than I can fit into a 7 or 8 minute segment on the relay. So what Rick said was the rumor of Tank Davis possibly facing Keith Thurman may or may not happen despite Showtime boxing honcho Stefan Espinoza saying it isn't true. Why? That fight would sell a lot more pay-per-views than a Tank rematch with Pitbull Cruz. Question, which fight would you rather see? So, addressing that rumor, I've been saying that they're kind of on the spot, that they're kind of in a corner, or they painted themselves into a corner because you already had the Ryan Garcia fight. You already had it. Shout out to my man. 1 foot out the door for the booze fund. Appreciate you. When you think about that, I said it that if he fights Ryan Garcia, the bar is set very high based on how the pay-per-view performed. And you really can't fight just anybody after that because if you do, you're going to see a rapid drop in sales that you can't go back in there with Isaac again. Nobody wants to see that. And you can't go back in there with a Frank Martin or just anybody. You're going to be hard pressed to do a show that's actually going to do something. And that's not Isaac. That's not Frank. You'd be better off fighting an MMA fighter than fighting them if you wanted to produce good numbers, right? So the rumor comes out that he might fight Keith Thurman, and Showtime Stefan Espinoza, he dispelled the rumor. He said that's not happening. What Rick is saying essentially is that don't believe the hype. It might happen because at least based on projections, that fight might do a little better than an Isaac Cruz fight. To answer his question, which fight would I rather see? I view the both of those fights as being pointless. Gervonta Davis is not in a place where he should be fighting in pointless fights like that one. If the Ryan Garcia pay-per-view was successful, then he should have looked to build on that success by fighting a Devin Haney, fighting a Shakur Stevenson, or Teofimo Lopez, someone that the paying public actually wants to see him fight. If you go in there and fight a Keith or an Isaac, nobody's asking you to do that. Nobody's asking you to fight those people. There's no point in fighting those people. But alas, they may feel that putting him in there with a naturally bigger man may elicit a response, a better response, than putting him in there with a guy that he already beat. So I see the strategy, but I don't think that Keith Thurman is box office. I don't really think that fighting Keith Thurman does all that much better than what he's been doing, which is at or around 200,000 pay-per-view buys. I've been telling you for years that that's not a lot of buys. For 200,000 pay-per-view buys, you might as well not even do the pay-per-view because that's nothing, that's nothing. But that's a part of the rumor that they are looking to do Thurman versus Davis, contrary to what Stefan Espinoza is saying. The more interesting parts of the rumor is when Rick says, boxing has become a watered-down version of itself. but that could change quickly with Showtime leaving boxing. PBC isn't able to come up with a TV streaming output deal that includes guaranteed revenues, but in fact would be just a distribution deal with no guaranteed revenues. The fighters will have to be put in old school 50-50 fights for a lot less than they've been making, back to the best fighting the best, and it would force the other promoters to improve upon the quality of their fights. Addressing that, right? It's simple. You remember when Fox pulled the plug on boxing, it didn't go out with a bang. It went out with a whimper. After a while, they were not releasing a comprehensive schedule of fights. After a while, all they were putting out were pay-per-views that Fox was not even giving them no money for. Fox was basically just letting them use the platform. Like, yeah, you could see out the length of your deal and use the platform, but as far as operational costs and production costs, we not paying for that. That's on you, you know? And that's why after a while, before Fox pulled the plug, which was last year, all you saw was pay-per-views. Everything was a pay-per-view. Ruiz versus Areola, Ruiz versus Ortiz, Ortiz versus Martin, Thurman versus Barrios. All pay-per-views that not only did Fox not pay for, but pay-per-views that did not do well. And the reason those fights ended up on pay-per-view is because PBC figures, well, the money's got to come from somewhere, so hopefully it will come from the fans. That if the network doesn't want to give us any dough for these guys, let's hope that the fans do. And the fans didn't. Those pay-per-views didn't sell nothing. What Rick is describing is basically that if Showtime is on the verge of pulling the plug on boxing as a result of the merger with Paramount and Paramount trimming the fat. Oh, I gotta get beats on here. I gotta get beats on here. Yo, this link is for beats, yo. This link is not for 10 people. This link is for beats. So if you ain't boxing beats and rhymes, you don't need the don't click the link. Shout out to my man Beats. What Rick is describing is that before Showtime goes out, all you might see are pay-per-views. And if you're paying attention, that is what we're seeing. You know, I said it in another video that, yeah, Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta belongs on pay-per-view, but Plant versus Benavidez doesn't. That, yeah, Crawford versus Spence belongs on pay-per-view, but Plant versus Andre doesn't. Or Davis versus Hector Luis Garcia, not Ryan Garcia, Hector Garcia. That you're seeing about 4, 5, 6 pay-per-views in the same calendar year from the same platform, and what that really heralds is trouble in paradise. But the people on boxing Twitter and the YouTube boxing community sometimes can't see the forest for the trees. That you shouldn't be staging that many pay-per-views in sequence that close together. If you're doing so, that means trouble. That's bad. Because if the network had more of a commitment to staging boxing matches, they would end up on the regular schedule, not pay-per-view. The reason they're ending up on pay-per-view is because the network ain't giving you no money. So now you're turning to the fans to subsidize the fight, as my man D-Style says. Shout out to D-Styles. You know, it's very simple. And how now the programming was supposed to be the content that you get on Showtime is basically all behind a paywall. Shout out to Tyree. It explains why EJ is taking the immediate rematch. Yeah, I mean, it's not hard to see that after a beating like that, if he so chooses to exercise a rematch clause, it's because he's cashing out. You cashing out basically. You trying to get your last nickels and dimes, your last couple of pennies before you bow out, you know? And it's a doomsday scenario depending on what happens, because see, this is the way it is. Just because Showtime leaves boxing, if they leave boxing, right? We're operating on the assumption that the rumor is true. We don't know if it is. But for argument's sake, let's say the rumor is true. Let's say that after this year, Showtime's commitment to boxing is kaput, right? That's not the end of the world, so long as you could find another broadcast partner. If you could find another platform to give you an annual budget an annual 60, 70, 80 million to do boxing matches throughout the year, you good. Because don't forget, when HBO pulled the plug, where Top Rank went? To ESPN. Where Golden Boy go? To the Zone. So it's not the end of the world just because Showtime bows out. It becomes a doomsday scenario if they can't find another broadcast partner. If they can't find a Peacock or somebody to give them a budget, then it becomes a doomsday scenario. Because then that means you ain't got no money to pay these fighters. You ain't got no annual budget to do these fights, and you're reduced to being little more than a booking agent with contracts. Basically, that's what Al Heyman would become in that situation. If you don't have a broadcast partner and you don't have an annual budget and nobody's giving you money to do boxing matches throughout the calendar year, what you basically are is a booking agent. You're not the head of anything, bro. Because what good are those contracts without the money to bankroll those shows? And there's a lot of different ways it goes if it goes that way. If it goes that way, then it becomes about, okay, well, what's written into the contracts these fighters have? What kind of autonomy do they have? Because if these guys ain't got a platform anymore, if they ain't got a broadcast partner, then we ain't got no reason to be rocking with you. We ain't got no reason to look to you to do anything because you ain't got no money. So we'll see about, I don't know, maybe going to a Top Rank independently, the fighters and their managers and their teams. Maybe we go to a Top Rank, see if they could give us some work. Maybe we go to a Golden Boy. Maybe we go to a Matchroom, you know. Maybe we expand our horizons and go abroad, see if we can't get some UN money, some global money. It's a lot of ways it could go because it's not Showtime leaving boxing, potentially leaving boxing, that makes it a doomsday scenario. It becomes a doomsday scenario if they can't get another broadcast partner. That's when it's bad. That's when you need to worry. Because if they can't get another broadcast partner, how the hell are you supposed to do shows throughout the calendar year? How are you supposed to pay the fighters? Where is the money supposed to come from? You know, that they can't all be pay-per-views. Now, adding on to what Rick Glacier said, I would love to have him on here if I could. Shout out to my man Michael. Michael, friend of the channel, one of the best people in all of boxing Twitter. Michael. Michael asked, are they shutting down after the Canelo fight? To which Rick Glaciers responded, December. Very scary stuff, folks. Very scary stuff. Now, Napoli says, how strong of a possibility is Al Heyman trying to sell the PBC if the rumors are true? And who do you believe would be a strong candidate to buy the PBC? That's a very, very good question. To answer that question, this is what I'll say. A buyer may not want to buy the whole PBC. He may want to buy specific fighters that have some marketability, specific contracts that I don't need Keith Thurman. I don't need Gary Russell. Maybe Gary Antoine Russell because he's younger and he's unbeaten, but I don't need a Thurman and I don't need a Gary and I don't need a Danny Garcia. I don't need a Lara, but maybe a Jesus Ramos. Maybe we could buy him because, you know, he's an unbeaten guy. He doing his thing. He coming through. That a buyer, it's hard for me to imagine somebody wanting to buy that whole stable when not all of that stable is worth no money. You know, what should I give you for an inactive Jermall Charlo that ain't fought in 3 years? What is a reasonable price for a fighter that don't fight? What is a reasonable price for Keith Thurman? You know, he gonna want an arm and a leg every time he get out there, but what is the man worth? You know? So I don't know that somebody would take the whole stable off his hands so much as maybe they would want specific fighters, specific guys. Maybe you want a Subriel Matias. You don't need a Rolly Romero. Who the hell needs a Rolly Romero? Who needs that guy? But maybe you want a Subriel Matias because, you know, a Puerto Rican fighter, he could appeal to the Puerto Rican fans, generate some money with them. He got the IBF title. Shout out to my man Tyree. Tell Bob, call Al, has new meaning, possibly. Damn right. Damn right. So I would say, oh shit, I didn't drop the link to Beats. Yeah, I just noticed it. I didn't even send it out. Beats, I just dropped the link. Click that joint, bro. Let's chop it up. So once again, there's a lot of ways it could break down because Showtime leaving boxing isn't the scariest part. You know, HBO left boxing, and when they did, Top Rank went to ESPN. Golden Boy went to the Zone. They got somebody giving them an annual budget. So Showtime leaving boxing is not really the scary part. The scary part is if you can't find somebody else to give you an annual budget, if you can't find another broadcast partner. That's the doomsday scenario, you know? And that's what we're here to talk about. Now shout out to the incomparable Rick Glacier who said, "Rest in peace, Showtime Boxing, 1986 to 2023. It didn't have to be this way, but that's what happens when you pay exorbitant rights fees to cover purses of fighters that are exorbitantly overpaid. And this was all done under the watchful eye of Showtime Boxing head honcho and culprit, Stephan Espinoza." Scary stuff. See, the role of a Stephan Espinoza is to oversee what Al Heyman is doing with the money that Showtime gives him. But that's not the relationship that they have. It's been widely speculated for years that Stephan takes his marching orders from Al, where it's supposed to be the other way around. It's not supposed to be Al telling Stephan A, B, C, and D. It's supposed to be Stephan telling Al A, B, C, and D for the betterment of the network, for the betterment of the platform. Because their relationship is backwards, they do business backwards, and things happen backwards. They happen in reverse. That your numbers haven't gotten bigger, they've gotten lower. Your audience hasn't gotten bigger, it's gotten smaller. You can't let a fight like Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta Davis be your example for where they are, because that's one fight. That's one fight. What has been happening the last 3-4 years? Shout out to my man Leo. You know, I don't want to fill a panel up with 10 people, but Leo got some of the best insights in all of boxing.
Thank you, Julius. Can you hear me?
You know, what do you think about these rumors, Leo? Do you
Okay,
think
I'm
bullshit?
just coming into your show. Is it official?
More like it's becoming more prevalent. Eddie Hearn said it. He said he heard the rumor. I know I heard the rumor about 5 days ago. A part of the rumor that I heard that was told to me by a good source is that not only is Showtime going to be leaving, but Al Heyman is in the market for a buyer. He wants somebody to buy the PBC. That's the rumor. Don't shoot the messenger. That's just what I was told, right? Now, Rick Glacier added on to that rumor, and he said a lot of stuff. I'll post a tweet for you. He said a lot of stuff, you know, and you can see it on the screen. That what he's saying is that they're going to leave boxing after December, and that if any boxing remains on Showtime, if it remains, it's not going to be an annual budget like before, which is normal. When you pair up with a network, they give you an annual budget, say $80 million to spend throughout the year to stage boxing matches. That's just a made up number because that was Top Rank's budget with ESPN. I don't know what it is now, but it's approximately 80 million. And what he's saying now is that they're going the way that Fox went. They're not giving you money for fights, which is why you keep seeing pay-per-views, because they're not giving you money for fights. If they were giving you money for fights, you would have had a regular schedule. And one thing that stands out that's noticeable, look at how many fights there are on the Canelo versus Charlo card. It's a bunch of people fighting that day, a bunch of guys. And it's like they're packing the cards because they don't have dates. They don't have dates for a lot of these guys. So they're trying to jam them in on the undercard, you know, of the one fight that might make some money. And Don Juan says DAZN should try to buy the PBC and do what the UFC did when they bought Pride, and watch how the guys that really want to fight really fight. That's one way to look at it. So just based on all that, Leo, what are your thoughts?
Um, okay, I mean, I once told you before that I thought that the Showtime was going to be on the same way that Fox, because I if Fox Network, that Fox Sports, that is actually a sports network, doesn't want to do anything to do with the PVC, why Showtime uh, be involved with the PVC in the long term with that kind of metrics? And to be fair, it's not about only the promotion. PVC failed to secure the top talent
Yeah,
in boxing. So if you don't have the top talent in boxing, you can only do matchups against TRC and TND opponents to keep your guys winning. And all these guys, the really cash cows of boxing, we're talking about the Canelo Alvarez,
yeah,
the guys that are selling overseas like Anthony George, and like now you're not gonna compete with those guys.
they
So
can't.
it's no, you cannot, not only because your promotion is being shown that is not that what everyone thought he was. You don't have the talent.
Yeah,
You,
I mean,
you really don't have you really don't have the talent to compete with those guys.
they don't have the talent. They don't have the fight dates. Drew, you know what the rumors are, and you have better insight into the business aspect of this than most. So just based on where the PBC is now, what their stable is and what it looks like, right? Do you think it's possible that another platform, if this all checks out, if this all turns out to be true, because we don't know, but the rumor is, and I heard it, Eddie Hearn heard it, Rick Glacier heard it, it's getting more prevalent as we approach the end of this year, and I'm sure you know what the rumor is, that they had the whole of this year. That's part of the rumor that I heard last year, that for now they're safe. They're safe through 2023, but after that, it's they ass. So based on that, what's the probability that a Peacock don't come in and give them a budget, or somebody like that?
The probability is very low because it's a macro problem in entertainment out here. You see the strikes, you see what's going on. ESPN is looking to partner with somebody because of their numbers, and they have the NFL. They have all these big time sports. So look at them. Remember, they partnered with DAZN for a couple pay per views, if I'm not mistaken. Correct?
They did.
Um, Showtime is asking DAZN to broadcast Charlo Canelo abroad. Um,
What?
yeah, that's who's broadcasting in the UK.
You didn't see that?
So
They announced that yesterday, bro.
yeah, so
Didn't know that. No, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I was fucking.
it's indicative of it's bigger than, like we always talk to, it's bigger than boxing. It's indicative of a larger issue of nobody is consuming content the way they used to, and executives are trying to catch up to, okay, how do we mitigate our losses but still package it to where we're making our money and we're getting our bonuses. And boxing on Showtime is a piece of trash in the sense that they're doing what
Honestly,
Fox
yeah.
did. They're doing what Fox did. When it was dead and gone, okay, we're just giving you pay-per-views, we'll take our cut.
Yeah,
People don't
that is
realize
what they did too.
yeah, and people don't realize Espinoza is 3 levels below the CEO now when he was 1 level below. So it's like, remember he was straight to the CEO, David Nevins, the
Yeah,
restructuring.
yeah.
Now he's got 2 guys ahead of him before Bob Backish. So it's not really a demotion. It's not really a promotion. You just kept your title, but your budget's smaller. You're
I mean,
selling
what's it
You're
worth
getting
being
rid
the
of
captain on
Bellator.
a sinking ship, right?
Yeah.
Who?
And keep it real, Jules. The writing's on the wall when they announced that they're getting rid of selling Bellator.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
we'll see how long it lasts, but I wouldn't be surprised if they stay in the pay-per-view business with Canelo, if
that's
whatever.
what I was thinking. That if you got a contract, see, devoid of the useless fighters like Jamal and Keith, guys that they're not going to make you any money. And there's a lot of those kinds of guys in that stable. The Canelo contract, that is worth some money, though. It is, because he generates. He generates money. He's not a guy that you just going to spend money on him and never get it back. So it's like maybe they do the 2 other Canelo fights beyond this weekend's fight, right? They'll
And
do
they
the
don't got to, Jules. They don't got to guarantee Canelo money. That's up to Al Heyman.
and that's why I'm confused. That's why I'm confused. That I'm like, the only, because I can't see a buyer coming in, looking at that stable the way it is. These guys are nothing but liabilities. Most of them, yeah. What are you gonna make staging Danny Garcia fights versus what
You're
he
gonna
wants for a
lose
fight?
money. You're gonna
You're
lose
gonna
money
lose
on
money.
that. Take case in point. Let's say Showtime, what they get their 7-8% off this Canelo Charlo. They make what, 8-9 million bucks.
That's a drop in the bucket, bro. To
That's
them,
8-9 million, but that's $8-9 million that they're in the black, and then they go out and have to stage Danny Garcia versus Keith Lara, then Keith Thurman versus somebody. They lose that money as soon as they start putting regular Showtime cards.
That's what I was gonna say. That even if you could get back in the black, say 7-8 mil off of a Canelo fight, off of the little bit you made, right? You gonna end up losing that, or you already so far in the red that ain't nothing, because you ain't making money off of boxing matches. And everybody keeps talking about, oh, Davis versus Garcia was a success. Yeah, after how many flops? After how many fights that didn't sell nothing?
And Davis Garcia was a success, but how many hands was in that pot?
Exactly. You got Golden Boy DAZN, Ryan Javante. Like it's like, nah, son, you cannot use one fight that did exceptionally well when the majority of what you do does not do well. The
Frank
majority
Martin
of what you
And
do.
Jules, okay, let's let they
Hold on. Let me let Mike went on. Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, go ahead.
like for example, what you guys are saying, just as proof, Frank Martin and Michelle Rivera did 125K for free that night. For free. And how many networks have dropped PBC at this point now? They were
They
on
was on
ABC.
WNBC, Spike, motherfucking Fox,
Bounce,
ABC.
NBC. They was
It's
already
like,
on NBC too.
So how
that's
many?
what,
That's 5 networks.
bruh. That's why I'm curious if they could find another buyer that is in any way, shape, or form interested in just having a sports catalog. But when you think about it, you don't get a sports catalog buying into the PBC or staging bot. Like, nah, that's not really. If
There,
anything, you just getting a liability,
there's no
basically.
equity in PBC. Remember that Fight Oracle broke it down. Like the people that own it, they value it as a loss on their fucking books.
Because it is a fucking loss on their
Like,
book.
there is no catalog. Like, look at the PBC catalog, Drew. Who the fuck is gonna go like, oh, we could rebroadcast this Danny Garcia fight and get maybe a 1.2 2 million rating? Like, no, you get more fucking ratings on ESPN for old Ali and Tyson fights.
Bro, you get more ratings staging reruns of Seinfeld. Okay? You get more ratings staging reruns of other shit than that shit, When you got an unbeaten fighter, when you have 2 unbeaten fighters and they fight each other, and this is regular Showtime, not pay-per-view, not behind a paywall. And you can't even get the 300,000 viewers or 400,000 viewers. And bear in mind, this is the same Frank Martin that thinks he's supposed to get in excess of 1 million. All you did, all I see Al did, is you took a bunch of C and D level fighters, filled their heads up full of nonsense, and now they're entitled. That's all I see. It's all you did.
Yeah. Al. Let's just keep it real. Al is great at swindling idiots.
Yeah.
And I love it. And I can't as a Capricorn, Jules, we will never knock that hustle.
Look, I respect that, but at the same time, it's like what you did in the American market is why it's this way. It wasn't like this. Really though, 10 years ago, 10, 11, 12 years ago, no, it wasn't like this. You are the reason that, boxing is blossoming in Asia. Boxing is bigger than it ever was in the UK. It is. It's bigger now than it was when I was a kid. All right. The Australian boxing scene is blooming. that other boxing markets are flourishing, but what's supposed to be the preeminent boxing scene is dwindling. It's failing. And that, to me, yeah, that's because of Al Heyman.
Yeah,
If
but
I had
yeah,
to,
it is. But it's also now, in hindsight, you could see he had two plays when he's got that Waddell and Reed money. I manage this fund. I take my little 15-20%, make my 50-75 million, and I'm not on the hook if it fails. And if it succeeds, I sell it and make another 300-400.
yeah, but that's assuming. But see, it's like those are fair weather projections. Oh, you sell it. Who the fuck told you anybody's gonna want to buy it?
That's what. But either way, he comes out. Either way, he didn't give a fuck about the boxing market to make it better, or he just wanted to make his money because he's not on the hook to pay that hedge fund back.
Okay, Julius, let me ask you this question: what there is to buy in the PBC really? If you are talking about the no, let's be real. If we are to buy the PBC for what? Gervonta Davis, Davis Benavidez.
Their best prospect is a 30-year-old.
Shit.
That's what I said. That's why I said what I said earlier, that a part of the rumor that I heard is that Al is looking for a buyer. But when you think about it, who would want Keith Thurman? Who would want Danny Garcia? Who would want Jermall Charlo? They might want maybe specific fighters that are perhaps unbeaten fighters that don't cost a lot of money. Maybe they have some kind of idea what they could do with them. But the vast majority of what they have is not worth no money. Gary Antoine Russell, I'm sorry, like, yo, look, yeah, you an unbeaten fighter. That's fucking great. Who cares?
He sucks.
I know who would have bought him.
Derek Chisora's worth more than you, and he's a gatekeeper.
Al Heyman's 2 years late to selling it because I know who would have bought it if it was for sale at that time was our boy Kavanaugh with that delusional crypto money.
Right?
He would have bought it, yo.
But he was a scam artist, bro. What he would have bought it with? Monopoly money?
You know he would have done.
He had all them dreams for Triller. All that shit lasted all of 1 year. And me and Drew, like I don't know why y'all celebrating this Teofimo shit. Y'all don't realize what just happened? If you put up $6 million for a regular ass fight like Lopez versus Cambo, you know what that means? Pay-per-view. That's what that means. And that's how little he understood the market, bro. You don't throw that kind of money at a fight like that. That is a $2 million fight, if that. And most of the $2 million has to go to Lopez. George should get 7 figures, really? George? Going into that fight. Nah, son.
And the crazy thing about it, it would have been a $10 million fight the whole time if they would have took it to Australia like Aaron wanted to.
Well, one, let's say this. That was well into the shit, and it should have never got that far. Because remember, that was after many, many months that they was like, yo, you could do it in Australia. They'll buy it out there. You know, they'll do it out there for the bread. That was many months after that. So I would say it never should have got that far. I would say the same thing I've been saying. You should have did it at the price that Top Rank wanted to do it, because Top Rank probably only wanted to do it for like $1.5 million or 2 mil, because it's not a big fight. Ain't nothing about that fight a big fight, let alone a $6 million fight. Are you out of your fucking mind?
And Jules, we see the writing on the wall. Deontay Wilder is yet to fight this year. Andy Ruiz, all these guys. You mean to tell me there's no money, bro?
Danny Garcia versus Lara was supposed to happen last month. That was supposed to be for August. They pushed that back. He jumped on Twitter. Yeah, we not fighting in August. It's getting pushed back. Where is Jermall Charlo? The WBC says he's ready to come back, but I don't hear a fight date.
I've been here with that.
You know who they keep him busy? They keep him busy. Them 300,000. Mario Barrios is fighting when? On the undercard, right?
Yeah, he's fighting this weekend on the undercard, but it's like 1 million guys on the undercard. Did you see the undercard, bro?
There's hella people on the undercard.
It's mad people because, and that's why. Why? Because y'all ain't got no fight days for most of these guys, so y'all got to get as many of them out as you can now.
Motherfucker's gonna start fighting on Friday.
Not for nothing, the undercard actually starts on Friday night, bro. All through Saturday. Like, bro.
I need to go back and I need to go back and find that thread where we were going back and forth with Espinoza. I'm like, Steven, come on, bro. We know they're all going to be pay-per-view. Remember, Jules, he said, we're doing more shows this year than we did last year.
And bro, and the thing is that the average, how long have I said that the PBC and Showtime rely on the stupidity and the ignorance of the boxing community at large to disguise their inadequacies, because the commitment to the commitment from a platform to content is what they are spending, not box office fights, not pay-per-views. If you really want to know how committed are these people to the sport of boxing and broadcasting those fights, that's what you see in the regular schedule. That, oh, y'all got all this shit for this year. Y'all got all this shit lined up for the whole calendar year. That's not what we got. We got pay-per-view after pay-per-view after pay-per-view, which is just another way of Showtime saying, we ain't paying for it. Y'all get out there, hope for the best, hope you do good. We ain't paying for that shit.
Jules, I think the reason why you don't why you don't really get why you see so many people go out and talk about it like this, like they don't realize the writing's on the wall, is because so many of them don't understand what pay-per-view is or like how it works. Like I remember, you know how many people will immediately go and say, this guy is better than this guy because this guy's been on pay-per-view. And then you're like, okay, hold on. Something you don't realize is a lot of times, especially these days when a pay-per-view is happening, it's not because those guys belong on pay-per-view. It's because the network is just saying, nah, we're good. Like literally with ESPN. Like at that, the shit with Lomachenko and Haney, that really should have been a normal ESPN fight, but because the money of Haney is so much, probably just so he could stay at the weight, they were like, fine, no, fuck it, pay-per-view.
So the way it is now, pay-per-view is reserved. We got the great boxing beats and rounds in building. Pay-per-view is supposed to be ideally reserved for fights that are so big that the network can't cover them. That's the way it used to be. That the fight is so big, what you would have to pay the fighter, the network's not going to give them that. That if boxing beats and rhymes is a $20-30 million fighter, well, look, we're not going to give you that. We'll give you 15 and you make the rest on the back end. You know, that's the way pay-per-view is supposed to be, that the fight is so large, the network can't cover all of it, so you stick it on pay-per-view and let the consumers give you the rest. Whereas now, they're staging pay-per-views to survive. You're doing it because you don't have a budget. You don't have money throughout the year to stage shows. Beats, what do you think?
Oh, I'm getting educated here. I'm listening intently. And you see what it is right now, right? With Jamal Charlo. He's in with the biggest draw in American boxing. And he can't sell the product enough to make it an event. Like Canelo right now, you could say he could be trailing off right now. But someone like Charlo, an undisputed champion, gets a shot. He should be able to sell himself to push this event till it does, like the tickets are sold, and it's going to do a lot of pay-per-view. And that's the big issue, because Canelo can't have that much fights left. Who's going to flagship?
I don't think he does, you're right. I don't think he does.
Who will flagship American boxing when Canelo retires?
That's Beats, being real with you. I think that's why Steve Kim, shout out to Steve Kim, I think that's why he said what he said, that when Canelo leaves, there may not be a superstar. There may not. Now, you know, I'm not a wide-eyed optimist. I believe that there could be a transitional period, kind of like when Ali left. You know, Ali was larger than life. You still had Larry Holmes after that, but Larry was not Ali. So in between your huge Ali era and your dynamite Mike Tyson era, you had Holmes. But Holmes was not as big as they were.
Let me clean that. I hear what you're saying. It was Sugar Ray Leonard after Ali. It wasn't. It was Sugar Ray Leonard. That's who was next.
It was. Those four kings were bigger. Were all bigger than Larry.
Yeah.
But the reason I brought up Larry is because I feel like, okay, let's say Canelo retires. There may be a transitional period, right? A transitional period of fighters that fight within that pocket of time while your Xander Zayas goes on to become a draw. You see what I mean? That there is still young guys coming through, but they're not here and now in a place where they're big draws yet. So during that transitional period, that if a Canelo Alvarez retires, these guys are still in that grooming process, and you have that transitional mid period where, yeah, nobody's really a star right now. Not really. Not right now.
I mean, Terence Crawford has won two undisputed titles, 4 belt, and he's not ready to take over the pay-per-view mantle yet.
He's 36, bro. That's the other thing, that the heir apparent to the throne after Canelo is a guy who's older than him.
But it's like we talk about this a lot, Jules. It's indicative of just how the global order is changing. Other nations are happy to make their own guy a star. Look at Inoue. Look at look at the deal Matchroom did with Japan. Like, the world's changing. We're like, I don't give a damn if there's no American star. We got a star now.
And how long have I been saying that like, the Americans are arrogant for no reason? You don't run boxing. I don't know why you think that. Like, nah, we don't run boxing, bro. That kid Inouye is making more in Asia than most of the American fighters are making. And he's a fucking super bantamweight. So that's really saying something.
Right. He's a super bantamweight. Right. Exactly.
Super bantamweights don't normally make a lot of money, but he's literally making more money than a Jermall Charlo, than a Frank Martin. Yes, he's making more money than them guys.
He's got that crossover. He's on the level of Canelo and AJ. He's modeling for Hugo. He's like AJ running the fucking runway yesterday. Hugo Boss and motherfuckers hating.
Yo, that's the other thing. I seen this little bug-eyed freak, and this is why American boxing is in a crapper, because with fans like that, who needs enemies? You saying that AJ modeling a huge, like, bruh, that's huge, bruh. That's major that you have an athlete modeling on a show like that they behind him. He's a spokesperson for that brand. That's major. And that's a big part of why UK boxing is going to be all right without Tyson Fury. Yeah, they'll be okay. UK boxing is going to be okay without Anthony Joshua. Why? Because we got Conor Ben. He's still controversial. He's still out here. He's still getting it. Grassroots followings like Johnny Fisher and all these motherfuckers that follow him and his dad around.
I tell you right now, I would go to motherfucking Conor Ben, fucking Eubank Jr. at Tottenham, because I know that shit's gonna be crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like they acting like I think he says some tired ass trope that people in America love using. Like, bro, he was.
Yeah, it was redundant, basically. I heard it. Was like, wow, they still there. They haven't advanced yet.
That's what I'm saying. And these motherfuckers swear that they're the ones that's ahead of the curve. Like, bro, you not ahead of the curve. In fact, you're delayed. You are hanging on to shit that will not allow you to move forward. You're hanging on to it.
Basically, that's what it is. That's what it is. Everything revolves around, race with them.
Yeah.
And they just can't get above that. You know what I mean?
Can't get past it. Crazy. You should want, if you're a fighter, you should fucking want to fucking, like, even Richard Riakporhe, unbeknownst to most, that dude is making money in modeling, bro. That dude ain't just out here boxing. That dude is getting money. So if you a fighter and an athlete, these are actually the things that you want. That, yeah, I ain't just got to worry about the boxing. I got this other dough I could get, this other money I could get that enhances my profile. Meanwhile, you still trying to tell the world that Boots is the end all and be all, and nobody knows the man in his own country.
That's right.
In his own state.
I mean, let's keep it real. PBC since 2015 have not developed an international cash cow fighter. Since 2015, they've had 8 years to develop it, and now it looks like they could be over the precipice right now. There's something wrong there. That's a fair.
And they'll tell you it's Javante, but I'm like, tell you it's Javante, and I'm like, bro, look, can he sell tickets in major cities? Yes, he can do that. He can do that, to his credit. He can do that because he's fought in several cities and sold those tickets. But as far as being a big box office draw, no, you're not that. That's what your whole track record shows. That without a Ryan Garcia, you had 200 thou, look, 100 thou around there, like
it's
yo, who Mike is that?
That ain't Chris, is it?
You know what I'm saying? That's not a star, bro. Like, and they lower the bar to accommodate the inadequacies when it's like, bro, you should hope that somebody like a Javante, for example, has a Hugo Boss sponsorship like AJ. That's a good thing, not a bad thing. The fuck are you talking about, you $2 motherfucker? T-shirt ass motherfucker.
And I laugh at that shit because stars know other stars. I don't think if you ask Neymar and all these and Messi who hang out with Canelo and
You think
fucking
Neymar
AJ,
and fucking Messi know who Gary Antoine Russell is?
they don't even know who Tank is. Tank ain't at those
You know
forged
that dude,
parties.
bro?
They're
Think
not
they
international players. They're not international athletes. They're not. They're not.
And
The like,
that's more of the bitterness you see Ellerby have for Eddie
why you
because
think
of
he's
that.
so quiet now?
but
Ellerby don't he
but
don't
why are
have
they not?
has it to
Sorry,
be
sorry.
Ellerby doesn't have the that he had before because you know what's going on, bro. Your whole beard turned white in the course of a month. You saw the burning bush, the burning Showtime. Go ahead, Pete.
Look, man. Wilder turned down the DAZN deal. That was an international fight, right? Gary Russell, not Gary Russell, even outside of PBC, like Shakur Stevenson turning down that purse for a featherweight fight against Josh Warrington them years back. It was a lot of
I ain't
money,
forget. In
right?
2020, 2021, yep.
This is why they're not developing the stars. They're not developing them, man. You know what I mean? Like they've been insulated, and people are saying, "Well, to hell with it. You stay insulated there." You know,
The world is gonna move on. Like for example, like there's a female fighter, right? Not nowhere near as big as Katie, nowhere near as big as even Clarissa per se, right? So it's a Turkish fighter, Dilara Yücel. But how do I know they doing it right? Because she has a domestic following. You got to crawl before you walk. You got to get people's attention, and it got to be where you live first before you have any aspirations of becoming anything anywhere else in the world. You got to get that grassroots following, and you don't do that fighting in fights that no one cares about. Nobody cares about none of like that shit that be go like people keep telling me about Jesus Ramos. He ain't Tim Zoo, motherfucker. I know that shit. He ain't Tim Zoo. Tim did it right. I'm going to gamble. I'm going to roll the dice against motherfuckers that's more experienced than me, and I'm going to win. Because you a fighter, bro. These dudes want to be anything but fighters. Broner want to be a rapper. Danny want to be in real estate. It's like you want to be anything but a fighter. And that shit don't work. Now, when you fight and get attention, everything falls into place after that. When you fight, get attention. Because you a fighter first. You a fighter first and foremost.
I don't know. I think it's also them what's it called, taking so long to do these fights. Like they have this whole every fight's got to be made pack every 5 seconds. Every single like I remember even Oscar. You know I like Oscar, but remember what he said when someone asked him about Williams Zepeda versus Shakur Stevenson. He
Oh
said that's a
yeah,
cool fight down the line. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about down the line? What is your guy doing tomorrow?
exactly. Look, like put it this way, it's like they're all protecting what they have. When look, the best thing for y'all to do at this point, and I hope they listen, and I hope somebody's listening. The best thing for y'all to do at this point to enhance the market for boxing in this country and bring it back, y'all have to work together because none of you are strong enough apart to stand, but together you can enhance that market. Together. It sounds corny, I know, but the biosphere approach, that shit didn't work. So now you got to try the kumbaya approach. Work together. Bartering process. Hey, PBC, loan me that guy. I'll loan you this guy. You do that fight, I do this one. Matchroom, loan me that guy. Loan me that guy, I'll loan you this one. You do that fight. It's the only way it's going to. Not that Matchroom needs you, though, because they don't. Case in point, they just expanded. They just announced this morning they have expanded to fucking Asia. This top PBC.
Okay,
But the
but
zone's going
Wait,
broke as we
sorry,
okay,
sorry.
speak.
Julius, but
When you say
I
Asia, what
I
part
I
of Asia?
I, I
Japan.
Okay.
already took this subject before. Does the BBC have the luxury to really gamble in this kinds of situations? Because I cannot remember another fight that PBC guy was favored to win.
That's
Besides
true.
that, fucking Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta Davis. You look at the conditions that fight was made. Ryan Garcia was it was a catchweight, reiteration clause against a fucking contender. If you put those guys in fair fights, the chances that those guys wins in the PVC are fucking low. And the whole scheme of the PVC is selling his fan base, their fan base. Those are the best fighters in the world, and apparently they are not because they keep losing every fucking time.
Well, look, there are scenarios, right? Like for example, they have Jesus Ramos, 154, right? So you look at that 154 landscape and see what the other people have, and see if you're not, willing to match that guy against one of them. Or maybe, like for example, if you're not necessarily PBC but Showtime, because Boots isn't a PBC fighter, you reach out to Golden Boy, hey, can we borrow Blair Cobbs? We want to put him in there with Boots. We'll pay him, da 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 da. It'll be for the IVF, da 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 da, whatever, something like that. I see your point that because their fighters are not favored to win, in most situations, the Shangri-La approach will not benefit them. But the biosphere approach, that didn't help either. So you got to do the opposite
Wait,
now. You got
Leo.
to open
I'm
up.
sorry. Leo, wouldn't I what's it called? But wouldn't you say it's even worse in that scenario? Because think about some other guys. Remember Chris Colbert? Remember Ryo? Remember how they got beat up by Dominicans that nobody knows today?
It's true
Like
though.
seriously, he like Edwin, what's it called? Beat Ryo, and people forgot that Edwin existed for like a solid
Hmm.
couple of months until he talked about Shakur. And
No,
Honestly,
even
still,
yeah.
then,
still
like,
people don't know Edwin. Edwin's about to fight Shakur, and people's like, "Who the fuck is Edwin De Los
yeah,
Santos?"
bro,
People
like
don't
that shit
know.
was crazy.
They don't know how to
Broadway
build their
Joel is
fighters. They
incensed,
don't
bro.
know how to build their fighters into attractions. They never have
They
done.
they absolutely don't, and they have it's like, yo, dog. I don't gotta bring up the major guys. I don't, right? I don't gotta tell you that no matter what you think about Dillian as a fighter, Matchroom turned that guy into a draw. He did. He sold out the O2. Can you tell me when Edwin has ever sold out the Garden? Right? And it's not like Dillian White is the best they got. No, that's just a guy that was over there a lot. But they got it to where this dude could sell out the O2 arena with the most polite man in New Zealand. They sold out the O2, build it as a
Yeah,
pay per
but
view.
not even, you don't even have to go as far as Edwin. Other than maybe I don't even know Spence, but other than Javante, who else is selling out any stadium or arena, anything like that on PBC
Nobody.
side?
Like they hate Josh Warrington, right? A lot of people hate Josh Warrington. Like it or lump it, that motherfucker sells. Like
Gary
it.
Russell doesn't sell.
Yeah, when he fights Lee Wood, I mean, they're going to sell out wherever they hold it. Where is it?
It's in Leeds, I believe.
Yeah, it's in Leeds.
It's
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Leeds, where Warrington Town, basically. Now you got guys like Stephen Fulton. God bless him for doing what he did, right? But it's the point that Josh Warrington is a draw in Leeds. Are you a draw in Philadelphia? Is
No, it's
Boots a
not.
draw? Boots a
You don't
draw in
fight in Philly,
Philadelphia?
bro. Neither of them do.
And there's
That's
idiots like me complaining, I don't like the matchup, but it's the right fight to make. They're both like they're gonna bring football fans in there. It's gonna be a big flipping event. It's the
and
right
they
fight
got
to
the nerve,
make.
and they think they like it's the once again for me, it's the American arrogance, the mask, the ineptitude that always it's like so you just think like you special or something, right? Because you American, you think like there's something unique and special about you. You getting left behind, you fucking retard. The world is moving forward, and you getting left behind because Americans have the tendency, the penchant for focusing on the wrong shit. If they have a talent, it's that. Focus on the wrong shit. In a very general sense, but particular to this conversation, absolutely you focus on the wrong shit. Absolutely. If it was really so deep that we have to tie all this other shit to a simple sport of boxing, I think y'all should show up in the numbers and y'all don't. That's just a facts. Because if y'all
So
did, Stephen wouldn't have to go to Japan if y'all was showing up in the numbers. Where you at? On Twitter.
on Twitter talking crap.
Twitter
Talking about
talking
the
shit.
Great White Hope and shit.
Great White Hope and shit. Tell you what, fucking America could use one right now for the boxing scene because so far, after close to 10 years of PBC, you haven't taken over boxing. I don't know why you think you did. You haven't. You haven't. Your only bailout now is that you have a 3-fight deal with Canelo. That is the only contract that you have that's worth anything.
But will
That's
they be
it.
able to put, if they go out of business next year, will they be able to fulfill the contract?
I imagine that, let's say that Showtime, let's say that Paramount really, let's say that Paramount says, look, no more money for boxing. What then happens, or what could, is they'll still do the Canelo fights because he's the face of boxing. He will generate money, right? He will. But that don't mean we gonna be out here staging Gary Antoine Russell versus guy from the barbershop. That don't mean, like, nah, it's sold for that. That's done. We not doing that. We not doing Ray Vargas versus the Milkman. We not doing that no more. All them dumbass fights y'all be making, it's sold for that. But we might do this one and a few Davis fights because they sell a little bit. And I don't even really, I don't really even know. But on the strength of the Ryan, maybe they like, yo, you see what Ryan did, what he did with Ryan. Let's see what we could do. Da 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 da. You know what I mean? Because that's how it was when Fox went out. When Fox went out, it didn't go out with a bang. It went out with a whimper. All you were seeing was pay-per-views. Ruiz versus Areola. Ruiz versus Ortiz. Ortiz versus Charles Martin. I think it was Charles Martin.
Yeah.
Thurman versus Barrios.
Yeah.
It went out with a whimper. It wasn't like Fox made a big announcement and they was like, we're leaving boxing. They didn't do that. They just like, all right, y'all get the fuck on now. Get the fuck on. We're going to show MASH.
Wow.
We're going to show reruns of MASH or some shit.
So what I heard what you said. So you're basically saying that Paramount could be promoting the last couple of Canelo fights, really? Showtime?
Yes.
All
yes.
right.
Absolutely. Because it's Paramount's decision to make, basically. It's their decision to make what they want to do and what they want to get into, because the crux of the story is that in this climate, Showtime cannot sustain on its own. The strength of their catalog is not strong enough for them to be a standalone platform. So they need to be in addition to something bigger. You know, and if you look at Showtime's catalog of movies or their catalog of shows, yeah, it's weak, bro. I wanted to watch Eyes Wide Shut. Y'all motherfuckers didn't have it. I wanted to watch Phantasm. Y'all motherfuckers didn't have it. I wanted to watch Poltergeist 2. Y'all motherfuckers didn't have it. I wanted to watch 3 O'Clock High. You're like, what the fuck do you have then? Bellator?
I don't think they even have Bellator anymore. Do
So
they?
basically, they can't stand on their own no more in no type of programming, let alone sports.
And that is outside of which is what the Haymanites don't want to understand, that this is real, all right? This is per Bob Backish, Paramount. This is real. This is the word. The word is Showtime is not strong enough in this climate to stand alone. Why? What's affecting this? The fucking internet, bro. People don't watch TV that much no more. You know what they watch? YouTube, Twitch stream, Rumble.
Yeah, and you know
That's
what's
why
really,
that's why breakdown. Look how UFC shows their metrics. They show impressions, like they show how many people just watch the highlights.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
this
how
is
kids
not
watch TV now.
15, 20 years ago, because it wasn't even that long ago, 10, 15, 20 years ago. No, your audience was not divided between you and a bunch of crap on the internet. The internet was like an appetizer, side shit. You know, now the internet is taking you over.
Yeah,
it's taking you over.
Motherfuckers that sit on the internet watching 2-3 hour red pill podcasts, bro. Like they're not watching content.
Where they watching Pearl fight for the men.
I tell you what, when Showtime go out and follow HBO, the zone become enormous. Like when I say enormous, there's nowhere else to really go except the app for boxing after that.
And I would hope, because look, I'm not cold-hearted per se, right? There's a couple of fighters I hope they could do something. Now, Thurman, you can get the fuck on, bro. You can go. Charlo, you could go. Danny, you could go. Lara, hey, stick around. You got a belt. Let's see if you can't get beat up by somebody for that belt.
They're gonna give that to Mel.
You're not cold-hearted, Jules, because you'll tell Keith Thurman, okay, I'll give you $2.5 million if you fly over to the UK to fight Conor Ben.
Fight Conor Ben. And that's why I don't like. That's why I don't like a lot of these guys, because you talk about Thurman like he royalty, like he is above some shit. Do you understand that Connor is already a bigger draw now than you were then at your height? He has the controversy, the hate. It don't matter if they hate him. They can't shut the fuck up about him. All publicity is good publicity. Motherfuckers don't understand that. That kid has the potential that you never had. So what you need to do is you need to get in there and box him. But your bitch ass don't want to do that. You don't want to do nothing. You better off fighting Conor Ben before you fight Boots. Because at least he can get you some money. Boots can't get shit.
Yeah, Boots
Sorry.
just give him a beating and
But
send
Boots
him
will
over
get
cat
you an
there,
ass
bro.
kicking.
Yeah.
Conor Ben will get you an ass kicking and some retirement money.
They don't
Boots-
understand the energy that it creates when you introduce imbalance to the established order. That look, a guy as useless as Keith, if you went the match room, believe it or not, it would create excitement. Oh yeah, it would.
Yeah,
It would.
he could reinvent his career if he went over there.
If they had that mentality, Danny Garcia, you not a real middleweight, and it ain't even like you fought Lara yet. You could change the trajectory of where you are and how irrelevant you've become if you're willing to change your decorum. But so long as we're on our regularly scheduled programming, nobody give a fuck about you, bro.
Talk
Let me tell
about
you
it, because
something,
let's say Keith Thurman fucking beats Conor Ben. Watch Kell Brook like, I want some of that, and that's huge. Like, come
You know
on,
what I'm
bro.
saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what
I'll
I'm
tell you
saying?
what, man. When Al Heyman couldn't cut it with that Poxon deal the other year, this was inevitable. Yeah, if you couldn't become an international player, then say what they want about Eddie, he's an international player. When you couldn't cut it there, this was inevitable.
Bro, all I know is they talk about Eddie in America. Ain't nobody sitting around talking about Al over there, bro.
No, they don't. They don't.
You ain't doing nothing. You did the ITV deal. You did the ITV deal, and that shit didn't fucking go nowhere. They were gonna take over British, but how'd that go?
Are they even talking about? Are they even talking about Ben Shalom over there?
I was supporting it. I bought the Chris Eubank James DeGale fight. I bought it. And I said, yeah, let's do it. Let's get some competition. It was over after that fight.
It was over. I'll tell you that Eddie know more about the American market than Al know about the British one.
Yeah, 100%.
I'll tell you that motherfucking shit. You
know
nothing.
Eddie's just gonna steal all of I guess the PBC fighters after they go out. Though
people are
ones
saying,
you could use. He's not a moron. Not
all of them, obviously, but
and idiots saying he's not promoting Sonny versus Bam. It's in December, and he's kicking it off right. Like, come on.
Bro, at the end of the day, I don't care what a motherfucker say. Sonny versus Bam is gonna have more of a crowd than Fundora getting knocked out at the fishbowl.
That's right.
Sonny versus Bam is better than anything Showtime put on regular Showtime this year.
It's an excellent matchup.
Fundora.
And you know what's good about it? It's got the British versus Mexican American. That's a great.
That's the new that's the new shit.
Yeah.
That's the like everybody look, Puerto Rico versus Mexico. It's kind of dead, bro. I'm sorry, but kind of dead, right? Yeah. The new shit is the UK versus Mexico or Argentina versus Mexico.
And check this out. Remember Floyd, right? He took over the Mexican. What's the Mexican day? He took that over,
right?
And now
someone brought up that stat. Nobody's even excited about the fact that it's America versus Mexico in 127 versus 126 in championship fights.
The shit is that America versus Mexico, right, is played. We done seen that forever.
1,000,000 times, bro.
We seen that 1,000,000 times. Now UK versus Mexico. Hey, sometimes it's gonna go like the first Wood versus Lara fight. Sometimes it's gonna go like the second Wood versus. You don't know, bro.
Check this out.
It's gonna be the first.
Here's what I was saying, right? Floyd took that Mexican Independence Day, yeah. So and he done very well of it. He done very well of it, right? So now we have an African American in Charlo and a Mexican and they can't move the fucking needle. What happened?
Because these guys is not because the whole I've always maintained that the myth about Al Heyman being this fucking wizard. It's like I've seen it on a smaller scale so many times that bro, you not smart. It's just the people around you are dumb. It's not that you smoke. It's like, that's what it is. So you're used to fooling people that don't have critical thinking skills. Like, what are you talking about? This guy's a great promoter. What are you talking about? They've been around for what, like a decade? Who's the next Floyd? Don't tell me it's Javante. Bro, that dude damn near 30.
It's Frank Martin.
Easily.
Prospect 30 is what we call him now.
Prospect 30, bro.
That's how we refer to him now. Yo,
30 is
Ron
the
so
new
funny.
20, bro. 30 is the new 20, bro. Shout
I
out
tell
to
you
Edwin.
what,
Let me read the super chat. Let me read the
Sorry.
super chat. Edwin Castillo says, besides Canelo, this shows PBC fighter, not A-sides. Yeah, Snoop C. Shout out to Snoop C for the super chat. Let me see if there are any others before I pass it off. Go ahead, Beats.
Yeah, they're saying that in the Luis Torres UK versus Mexico is not competitive. That's true. Mexicans the way to whoop our ass. But if Sonny beats Bad, wow.
I'm saying.
That's gonna be crazy.
I'm just saying, would beat Lara. And if I didn't even know would beat Lara. The real point is, and I've been saying this for what, 5-6 years now. America is not the center of the boxing universe. And if you think that, you must be delayed. If you think that, you must be. There is a super bantamweight worth way more money in Japan than Boots, who's supposed to be all this great shit. This is great shit, yo. He's the next Felix Trinidadian Mayweather and Crawford. And what's he worth? What is your patronage worth? Because you love these guys. You fucking love these guys. They ain't going nowhere. Nowhere.
Yeah, it's sad. It is pretty sad. It's pretty sad. It's pretty sad.
Did Booth even sell out when he fought Villa?
No.
Venezuela?
No.
Yo, I swear there was like I was looking back at like a BDA episode and there was a guy that was from Texas and he was like, yo, when I saw the Top Rank event, I think it was the what's it called fight? The fight with Gonzalez and what's his name? He was like, yo, like that place has some good energy. You know, they were cheering for guys like crazy for guys like Fernando Vargas Jr. or whatever, or Emiliano Vargas. And they were like, but then I walked across the street to the PBC event that day. That shit was empty. Like,
I'm trying to yo,
like,
look, if you looked at the Martin versus Ortiz fight, right? I just like observing dumb shit. I looked out into the crowd, bro. It looked like the Street Fighter shit when it's only like 1 or 2 people in the background. You can see empty seats and shit. I'm like, yo, y'all shouldn't even be fighting, bro. It's New Year's, bro. Y'all should be.
It's New Year's, and then they had the nerve to charge you $80 to watch that shit.
I think that might have been cheap, though. That might have not been 80.
It wasn't 80. It was like 50, but still, it's like, bro, it is New Year's, bro. You crazy?
Yeah, who the fuck wants to watch a 70-year-old versus a washed-up heavyweight?
Like, and that was the main event. Like, bruh, that's a matchroom undercard.
That's an undercard, bro.
It's a matchroom undercard, bruh. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, not just because Eddie said it, not just because Rick said it, and not just because I heard it, there is credence to the notion that after this year, yeah, Showtime might bow out. When HBO bowed out, what people don't understand is the final broadcast of HBO, which was the Cecilia Brækhus versus Kaylee Reese fight. What if I told you that fight brought in close to 1 million viewers? It was around 800,000 people watched that fight, and that was at the end of HBO. Now look at where Showtime is now. You get 2 unbeaten guys in Frank Martin and Michelle Riviera, and 100,000 people watched it. 100,000.
Poor Fandora got knocked down in front of 100,000 people, and nobody even showed up to his fight.
There wasn't even nobody there for that. You shouldn't have had that fight, bro. You got knocked out for no reason. And now look, Brian Mendoza, he has a fight coming up. Sebastian, what you doing? Your sister got a fight coming up. She got a fight coming up. Golden Boy. So what is it? Why do they have fights coming up and you don't? Because you're relying on the PBC to get you your fights. Whereas Gabriella, she's on Golden Boy's dime. Brian, that's no limit paying for that fight. Not Al Heyman. That's no limit in Australia paying for that fight. And you see they ain't wasting no time. Like, listen, man, we ain't just gonna be sitting here collecting dust, B. We gonna fight. We Charlo or no Charlo, we gonna fight, bro. That's how we doing it. And that's how it's supposed to be.
I gotta go, but just one more like closing point, man. It's kind of sad because I feel like they fucked up when they even had some guys who had a little bit of a spark, like Isaac Cruz after the Davis fight. I have no idea why he went on pay-per-view after that. You should just be on the regular Showtime cards. Those could have, I
Honestly,
think,
yeah.
him in fights against like Frank Martin or Rivera if he wasn't such a bitch, or Ryo again if he wasn't such a uppity fucking asshole about fighting younger prospects.
That's big,
He
but
would have been able
that
to
goes back to what
save that
Leo
platform.
said. That go back to what Leo said, that a part of the reason that some of them guys, that if you had the kumbaya approach where everybody fighting everybody, bro, Isaac is fish food, bro. They will beat the shit out
Whoa,
that
whoa,
garden
whoa,
gnome.
whoa! Not to some of the people that like if I saw Isaac Cruz versus Ryo, I know who I'm picking for that fight.
No, all
Yeah,
right,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ryo.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, if he fighting Ryo, but if you expand, it's like, bro, Williams
PBC fighters
Zepeda,
will always look good against other PBC fighters. That's just how it
yeah,
facts,
that's
is.
what I mean. But they could have done that,
facts.
and they could have saved that platform doing that shit because, like, they would have at least Isaac with anyway. I don't know about those other guys to a degree.
Telling you, like, who's typing an essay?
Yeah,
Oh,
someone's fighting
sorry,
their
sorry,
keyboard
sorry.
right
My
now.
fault. My fault. I'm working.
This dude writing a history.
I'm working. I'm multitasking.
I hear all this shit. All this shit. Look, Edwin Castillo said, "Can Super Series with top 10 fighters help boxing?" Yes, but you need a financier. That was the problem that the second season had. That the
Well,
financier of it, they was going through issues, and somebody look. Why you
no,
think you
let's
always hear
keep
me
it a
say?
beam. All right, sorry.
Let me say,
Let's keep
there's no such thing as a free lunch. Get ahead, Beats.
let's keep it that point you just made there, right? What happened with that? Sky Sports were funding the World Boxing Super Series, right? What did Top Rank and the PBC do? They did nothing. They did nothing at all. They didn't facilitate anything. They had the Middle East facilitating some of the fights and the finals. Sky Sports, Matchroom, and no one else, really. You know what I mean? Like, I
They
think
have
like
done nothing to grow the sport, bro.
done
All
nothing at
they did
all.
was come in after the fact. Remember, after the fact, Top Rank come in, then they sign Josh. After the fact, they come in after
Right.
the series.
What did Bob Arum say? We ain't gonna let our guys go over there and fight in some other network. We ain't. Yeah, that's what he said. I said,
You know what I'm
okay, well,
saying?
why don't you put some of the fights on your network then? And he just did nothing. So, hey, I think Top Rank are going out as well. To be honest, I don't see.
I heard some tumultuous things. I heard one or two things that ESPN, because of what else is going on with Disney, really, because Disney is feeling, it's like all these things affect the boxing that we watch because they're bigger than boxing. Disney is feeling a pinch. A lot of that Marvel shit that you've been making, that shit is trash, right? It was good for a while, but now a lot of that shit is trash. Now, I don't look, I'm not against what y'all did. This is my thing. I'm not against what y'all did to the Little Mermaid, but you have to understand that you ruffling feathers doing that because that is not the character that they grew up with. This ain't like Miles Morales, who is separate from Peter Parker. You could sell Miles because he ain't Peter. You could do that. And that was one of the best movies I've seen in the last 10 years. But when you did what you did to the mermaid, bro, yeah, there's a lot of people that was mad about, and I could have told you, don't do that shit, don't do that. You can't do that all the time. There's gonna be a lot of you're gonna lose a lot of wallets playing that game. You are you're gonna lose a lot of wallets. Now, a lot of this shoulder programming Marvel shit, that shit ain't no good. I ain't watch a lot of that shit. Y'all doing this shit. You look what y'all did to to what Snow White. Yeah, y'all shouldn't have did that shit. I don't know what the fuck you trying to do, but all you doing is losing money. So Disney ends up losing money, right? They was on the up, they was in the black, now they in the red, and ESPN is feeling the pinch. The boxing that we watch, based on things that are bigger than the boxing that we watch. Now
There's a,
ESPN, go ahead.
there's a lot of incompetence out there, you know. Like Ben Shalom pulling out of all their purse bids. Apparently, Dan Aziz and Boaxi ain't gonna happen. Like a lot of bullcrap going on. You know,
Oh,
like
wait. They
Ben
canceled
don't know
that
what the
fight?
fuck he doing.
Wait.
I've been saying Ben don't know what the fuck he.
They
Bro, when
canceled the
you just
Boatsy fight?
say it again,
They canceled the Boatsy fight?
I don't think it's happening. The word is that Boaxi and Aziz is not happening.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
wow. I thought that was scheduled already.
I mean, no, that they've been talking about. I seen the posters and they've been talking about it, but I didn't actually see a fight date for it.
Oh, wow.
Like, look, you got a dude. Y'all just get. I feel like what we seeing with Boxer is the absence of Adam Smith. He
Yeah.
had direction. If not, it's all say what we want, but I feel like he understood things in a way that Ben don't because Ben is young and dumb. He don't.
Yeah.
All he
Right.
know is how to get the checkbook out. Well, don't worry, Lawrence. We'll pay you more than that over here. Why
And
would you do that?
you heard what, like, he done some dumb move. He tried to make Eubank and Ben recently.
I did a video.
I mean,
Like,
it's crazy.
for all the pearl clutching about Connor Ben, you think Frank Warren went and staged that show if he could, bro?
Of
Connor
course.
Ben, you think Ben is going to stand on principle? Well, I can't do it because pads. Fuck out of here, bro. Y'all just mad Eddie, dude. Y'all just mad as Eddie. Y'all don't fuck about. And the people writing all that bull. Oh, the pads Connor Ben. Yeah. Because if he fought Eubank, you wouldn't watch it. You wouldn't cover it. You wouldn't. What you gonna boycott it? Bullshit.
And
Bullshit.
they got Lawrence Okoli there, and they don't want to make this rematch. They're
That's
doing
what I'm.
everything. They don't want to make it.
If
They
you
don't wanna
think
make it.
about it, Ben was basically willing to overpay Lawrence, right? And Eddie's the bad guy. He don't want to give Lawrence more money. So Ben gives him more money. He
Yep.
goes over there, he stinks out the place, loses, and now they don't even want to do. Like, nah, we don't want to do that rematch. Like, I don't blame you, but that's why you're not supposed to pay that guy that much money. You're not good for it, bruh. Not
That's
good
sad.
for it.
That's sad.
I don't got nothing against Lawrence, but it's reality. Like, yo, look, it's reality, bro. It's reality, bro. You was rocking over there with Matchroom because they was adding you to other shit because you by yourself is not strong enough to stand alone yet. You should have trusted them. Nah, I should have this. Yeah, that's how it starts. That's how it hit Lopez. That's how it hit you.
He got jealous of Joshua. That's
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He really thought underneath, just like look, bro, it's the same shit. That's why I'm like, see, y'all gotta stop thinking that just because a fighter think he deserves something or he say something that he right. No, you not, bro. Top rank. We was just coming out of the pandemic. The audience is not even all the way back yet. You want the kind of money that is not out there. Now you let Triller waste your time with promises of money they didn't even have. Let Top Rank do it. It would have been done.
What's happened to Triller? I mean, they've even lost that celebrity sort of market to the zone, haven't they? The Misfits is firing now.
I tell you, and the shit is Triller as a platform is still around, but I mean, like, who on? I don't know anybody that uses Triller.
No.
For what?
I tell you what, that celebrity YouTube market, the zone have got it locked. They've got Jake Paul there. They've got Jake Paul.
KSI and the Misfits.
Right. Tommy and all them. I watched the fight on it the other day. They had a card. It was Idris Virgo versus Chalmers, who Mayweather fought. Hey, it was a good fight, man. It was a good scrap.
Like the whole shit is that everything is happening in reverse of what a lot of people said. Like, bro, the zone, yeah, the schedule could be better. I'm not telling you that it's not, but they're not the ones that got all that crazy shit going on. They're not. Showtime got a lot. Yeah, top rank ESPN, them too, because of the Disney shit. Disney fucked up. Like, bro, why y'all put this joint to be like, I don't, whose idea was this? What are you doing?
Listen, the zone schedule's a little underrated. They've got Haney versus Progress, Sonny versus Bam. That's two. And they haven't even revealed the schedule. They ain't back.
I'm not gonna lie. They're finishing the year with two good fights, but I will say,
Oh, I'm just saying.
I've been a Matchroom fan, and I didn't like this year, to be honest with you.
All I'm gonna say is that their schedule's been better. It's been better, but the disconnect is, they're standing where they are right now. They're in a somewhat better position than some other motherfuckers because they don't got. Listen, Top Rank. I don't know what's going to happen. I heard rumors and things like that too because Disney not doing good. ESPN, it might get sold. They can't, like, it's a lot of shit going on. A lot of shit that's bigger than boxing, which affects the boxing. You know what I mean?
Hey, moving forward next year from Eddie, I would like less rematches though. I don't need to see Cameron beat Katie Taylor again. And to be honest with you, I know it was a different outcome, but I didn't need to see the the Wood Lara rematch. Like we can't have a rematch all the fucking time. Like it gets boring.
Listen, bro. It's a
That's just
lot of
how I feel about it.
so no, look, it is what it is. They've had better years, you know. It is what it is, and that's okay. You roll with the punches. My thing is that I'm scared for the American market almost because of where it is. Yeah, I'm type scared for that shit. There was fights. If there was fights that I think could have saved it, right? Like a couple of years ago, even though it was never a conversation, it should have been. Navarrete versus Leo Santa Cruz. Oh yeah, Leo would have got put in a pond box. He would have died
Oh
that
yeah,
night.
he would have died. He would have
He
died.
would have got put in a
What
pond.
Javante did to him, it would have been like the same thing, pretty much.
That's what I'm saying. But would it have stimulated the boxing economy? Oh yeah, watching
Yeah.
him get the shit beat out of him.
Yeah.
When you put him in there with Javante, nobody cared about that shit. Only who bought it? What, 200 people, 200,000, right? Same ass number. You thought that was gonna be some shit? It wasn't. You should have put him in there with Navarrete. That would have been better for the boxing economy.
And if you look at Top Rank right now, their top guy is literally Shakur, and then it's just a whole bunch of prospects. So they have
Real.
to build. They have to spend the next couple of years building those guys, but they really don't have any top guys right now like that.
That draw, nah. I mean, you
Nah,
got Yanni Beck fighting Guacamole, Vincenzo
and
Guacamole.
nobody gives a fuck about that unless you're a hardcore fan.
Exactly,
I
like
didn't
that's
even know the guy that he's fighting. I had to look him up. I didn't know him.
bro. I still haven't watched. Do you know I still haven't watched them? I gotta watch the Falcao fight. I don't. I gotta watch that shit. I gotta see what happened. All right. What they're doing that is smart is they're saving their pennies by showing you fights in Canada and showing you fights in Japan. Because when they showed this past Jinto Nakatani, that joint, whatever, right? That card like a week ago, that wasn't on a dime. That wasn't on Top Rank's dime. They didn't pay for that show. That was Mr. Akihiko Honda that paid for that. They just showing it to you. So that's smart. They're like, we'll show you the shit in Canada that Eye of the Tiger's doing, that Yvonne Michelle is doing with Jim. We'll show you that shit. We'll show you some of the shit in Japan. And we not the ones that's paying for it. Like, we not paying for that. We might be paying a rights fee, a small one, to show it in. Like, yeah, we'll buy that off you. We'll show that on our shit. What you want for that? 200,000, 305? Because I don't imagine you're paying $1 million for the rights to some of that shit. What do you want? 500,000? 500,000?
Yeah,
Show this.
the smart licensing that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what they doing. That's smart. That even though it's just like Michael says, they don't got a lot of top heavy shit. They still showing you shit that's keeping them in the running. You know, if PBC go out of if Showtime leaving boxing, I could see that, right? I could see that. It's what happens after that that determines whether or not it's a doomsday scenario. Because if you can't find another broadcast partner, then it's a doomsday scenario.
Couldn't
Then
Al
But
go back to
who's
what he was doing though?
but who's gonna buy it? Because look at what you're buying. You're buying a bunch of old guys.
if he
You're
could
buying
fool
you're
motherfuckers,
buying you're buying
I'm
a bunch of
saying,
alcoholics. You're
Why
remember
buying
couldn't
that
he?
guys.
he goes to the network executives that don't know anything about this sport. And he go, look at what we did with Ryan Garcia and Javante Davis. Look at what we did with Terrence Crawford and right. They don't know nothing. They don't know that Keith Thurman is a hapless motherfucker. They don't know that. So you
Why
tell them
can't
whatever the
what?
fuck you want to tell them.
Why can't Al go back to buying up slots or like buying an app? Why
Doesn't
can't he
have the
go?
money. Doesn't have the money to buy
Isn't
up
that more
slots. Remember,
expensive?
he,
Isn't it more expensive when you do that?
yeah, like he used the 400 or 500 M's from Waddle and Reed to buy up that time. Now that's gone. He ain't got the money to do that no more.
Wow.
Now he's relying, now it's conventional. He was relying on Fox to give him a budget, an annual budget of approximately, I don't know, 80, 90 million a year. And another one with Showtime for, I don't know, 30, maybe 50, whatever. The stable was split between two platforms that were both giving him an annual budget. You telling me with 2 platforms giving you a budget, you couldn't work it out?
Nah.
Shit. That's why I said that dude is not no motherfucking wizard. You got 2 major platforms giving you a budget, and you ain't really.
Yeah. He didn't do shit with it. He didn't do shit with it.
Fox is to us what ITV or maybe Channel 5 is to y'all. That's terrestrial. Everybody got that maximum exposure, big audience. You had that, and the fuck? Like, so you suck, bro. You just suck. It's simple. If you couldn't work it out on fucking Fox, bro, that's free.
Wow. Yeah.
It's free, bro. Showtime is one thing because it's a premium cable network. Back when cable was still a thing, which is not no more in this day and age. When cable was a thing, you could at least say, well, look, Showtime is a premium cable network. That's not one of the ones you get with basic cable. You got to pay extra for that. So there would be that you could say that there's a discrepancy with how many eyes you could get on a fight on Showtime. But Fox, where everybody got Fox.
How do you fuck that up?
I don't know. You needed exposure, right? You want to get exposure for you. This is literally one of the most accessible channels in the country.
The problem is every fight they tried to make into a Mayweather-Pacquiao situation.
That's literally what it is.
You couldn't give me a regular fight. You had David Benavidez and Caleb Plant, both champions. You couldn't give me a unification between them two in 2018.
Listen, it's like when you watch Street Fighter for the first time and you first figure out down forward is Hadouken, and all you keep doing is Hadouken, and you don't know how to do nothing else. Hadouken. You figured that you could superimpose the success of Maypac to practically every other fight, and you can't because Manny and Floyd had other big names that they were fighting. In the midst of that, Floyd fought Marquez. Manny fought Marquez. Floyd fought Cotto. Manny fought Cotto. Floyd fought Mosley. Manny fought Mosley. Margarito. They had people that, it wasn't a whole bunch of nothing in between they fight. They still had other people they was fighting that was selling. You don't have that with all these guys, bro.
No.
You tried to fake that with Arrow, like, let's put him in there with Mikey Garcia. Fucking moron.
They're skipping the steps because they're too afraid to put that fighter in that position. Step up fight after step up fight, they're too scared for that shit.
They don't believe in a product, which is what Leo said. They don't believe in a product. They don't believe that they fighters will win those fights. And if it go down, isn't that the ultimate karma beat? Because you stole those fighters. That's a fact. You backdoored
Golden Boy. Yeah.
That's a fact that you backdoored them people. You say what we want, but that's what you did. That's how you got them. You funneled those fighters, all of them. Wilder, Thurman, Porter, Errol, all of them. You funneled them from Golden Boy over to your PBC.
Well, let's think about that. Like he did that with the assistant of Richard Schaefer. What's Richard Schaefer doing in boxing? I mean,
Richard is done, bro.
Yeah. I mean, his tenure at Pro Bellum was embarrassing.
Yeah,
bro, that prophylactic shit. He jumped. He was one of the first people to jump ship from prophylactic. Now he's based. He's based. The last I heard when it comes to Richard Schaefer, the last I heard is he was based out of Canada, some company in Canada, some sports management.
Richard is a money launderer, but he's on John Jones's team in a consulting aspect.
Oh, Richard got bread. Richard's got bread.
I'm not saying he don't got bread. I'm saying, bro, in boxing, you're done.
Yeah, he milked that cow, and he's the shyster.
There's nothing like you like, bro. What would anybody in boxing here today need Richard Schaefer for? To facilitate what?
But I will say this about Richard, like even Rudy Hernandez talked. Richard knew how to run an actual company, which is why Golden Boy was able to do certain things. It wasn't Oscar doing this.
The mighty have fallen.
But the day-to-day right now of Golden Boy is even worse than when Richard left.
No, because Richard was the president, el presidente, the prophylactic. He was the president of that shit, all right?
That was a money laundering.
You had guys fighting in empty tennis courts.
And I'm telling you that prophylactic wasn't in boxing to fucking make a splash and make money. It was strictly to launder fucking money.
I'm not saying it wasn't, but you got to understand that you didn't look. And this is how I knew. Ain't no way you gonna make friends with people in Germany, New Zealand, Australia, America, Canada, different parts of Europe, all these places, right? Prophylactic was everywhere inside of 4 weeks, right?
Yep.
And it's like who the fuck are these people, right?
Yep.
And all you did with that was get more heat on you. Then Bob dry snitched on you, and that was it. He dry snitched. That was it. Like I'm not dealing with Probellum and Daniel Kinahan, none of it. There was no official connection between Big Danny K and Probellum until Bob suggested that. Once he suggested that,
because the funny thing is, behind the scenes, they thought Bob's old ass was going to be easy to swindle, like Oscar.
Yeah, they thought they could. The story is the official story, according to Bob. They tried to use bully tactics, stepping on toes. We're not going for that.
What they fail to realize is Bob has so many connections in the Justice Department, and politicians.
Bob used to work for
the fucking IRS. Like, come on.
Hey, listen, Bob was investigating the closed circuit TV receipts on Liston and Patterson too, and we're talking.
They fuck with like y'all fuck with the wrong one, and anybody from any felonious individual, without saying a lot, you could see what happened. You cats is trying to expand your area of operations to the United States behind the guise of Probellum, which puts you in Bob's pocket, and that is not going down. See, Al, if it was just Al over here, he can't stop you, bro. He not even like. And
it would have been all good if you would have just paid Bob his tribute.
You know what I'm saying? If you kiss the rings, bitch. You know what I'm saying?
Did you get that? Hey, Jules, did you get that DM I sent you on Twitter?
Not yet. I haven't looked at it, but let's.
Okay, it's another blue check source though, not Glazer.
Let me see. Hold up. I'm about to look at that right now.
Try to go hard buddy with Bob, man. It didn't work.
Okay. So look, Raph, I know this guy because I follow him. I can confirm that Showtime will not be continuing their boxing schedule after 2024. Following a number of conference calls across the pond over the past fortnight, I can attest that Showtime will be pulling the plug on boxing after 37 years in the industry. It should be noted that the remaining schedule for this year will remain unaffected. However, beyond 2024, there are no plans to renew current deals that outside of sporadic pay-per-views. Showbox will no longer be a feature, and if Showtime dabbles in boxing again, it'll be one-off pay-per-view events only. You have it.
So wait. I'm trying to, the way you said, end of 2024, end of 2023.
I'll tell you what that looks like, Beats. It'll look like what happened with Fox. Don't expect next year, right? Don't expect next year. Even if Showtime does the odd pay-per-view, as far as giving them an annual budget, it's over.
Oh, shit.
And that's how you know that, okay, yeah, they about to leave. When they say, we're not giving you 50 mil or 80 mil annually to make shows, when they say that, that's they about to pull a plug.
So
that's how you know.
And beats that also it also could be quicker because once the earnings report comes out again, which will be in like 6 months to do another earnings call, they could pull the plug faster.
Yeah, like
Because after this year's earnings call, that's when Jules reported, like, after that earnings call with the CFO and CEO, they had massive layoffs within a week.
I'm saying
that. All right, but check this out, though. Check this out. If they take away the Al's not going to put up money to put on paper. Who's he got to make pay-per-views? Who?
Now, this the thing. This the thing, right? When you talk about pay-per-views, right? There's ways you could be frugal, right? This is how you do it. Now we got Canelo one. That's at least That's at least 2 pay-per-views next year, right? That's at least 2. Got Javante. That's probably 2 more. One of them shits will be a circus fight. One of them shits. Sean O'Malley, Dancing Bear, whatever, right? Do it for the Vine, do it for the numbers. The other pay-per-view that you do, if it's me and I'm in a sinking ship and I gotta figure it out, I gotta do it. I'm gonna make a bunch of fights that people want to see. This is it for y'all. You fighters, this is it for y'all. This is the sink or swim card. This is the sink or swim card. Thurman, get in there with boots. Simple. Those are the kind of fights that you do on that show because you got to sell it. And when it stays on, loser hits the road. Simple as, right? That's the only way. And that's being very optimistic.
Yeah, but look, think about this though, right? Think about this. So that means you're going to have the PBC, right? Not putting on regular subscription cards, and they're going to expect people to pay out how much? 500-600 a year for their fucking paper.
That's what they did this year, Beats.
Wow.
Think about it. Davis versus Hector Garcia, Davis versus Ryan Garcia, Benavidez versus Plant,
Wow.
Crawford versus Spence, Canelo versus Charlo, right? Benavidez versus Andre, whoever the fuck Javante fighting later on this year. That is 7 pay-per-views in 1 year from the same people.
How much money is that, bro? 7 times 80. How much? 1 second.
It's a lot of bread. That's how much it is, bro.
It's goddamn much. That's how much.
That's $560.
On top of, and this is why when people,
on top of the subscription.
This is why when people was complaining, we paying $200 for the zone annually. Hey, dickhead. Hey, dickhead. What are you paying in pay-per-views on Showtime on top of your annual subscription or monthly subscription?
And to make it worse, they were lying in the UK. Oh, you got to pay $200. No. If you pay up front, I can't remember what I paid. I paid it all up front, right? And it was low 100s plus what I paid.
Yo, right? I paid the 200 and change up front because it's cheaper than paying month to month. I'm paid through May. I'm good, right? And I'm saying that with that 220 something that I gave them, I don't gotta worry about nothing. You could give Showtime the 120 up front, but you still not gonna get most of the boxing. You still gotta pay on top of that. 500 on top of that.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
We gonna complain. It's 200. Fucking morons. Way to tell that you. That's how you tell on yourself. You don't buy none of this shit.
You don't buy it.
If you did, you would know that. You don't buy none of this shit. You're gonna tell me that you gotta spend fucking damn near $1,000 to watch boxing on Showtime. You're crazy. You're crazy.
I love boxing, but I don't love boxing that much. God damn. Shit.
Shout out to my man Anthony for the cash app
donation.
No,
I mean, you can invest that $600. Sorry about your super chat. Sorry about that.
No, go ahead.
You can invest that $600 you're paying on pay-per-views into something else in your life, man. There's a lot of bread, bro.
But also this brings you back to, again, what are you paying for? Why the fuck would I pay $80 to watch Caleb Plant versus David Benavidez?
And the only reason, y'all know, the only reason I do it is because I flip it. I get the cost of the fight.
For you, it's okay. For regular
for you, it's okay. You're pocketing all that Chris Mike money. We love it.
Right? I gotta get Chris a new mic for Happy Hanukkah, bro. Coming on here with these crunchy ass mics, bro.
You know, and like someone just said in the chat, DAZN got NFL now. They got all Premier League.
They do.
Yeah.
Joke now.
Trying to that show like these is the kind of people that they'll laugh at some shit and they won't think about it. HBO boxing was the gold standard in American boxing.
Yes.
If they could go out and so can you. Don't
Yeah.
celebrate too hard.
And weren't they doing like pretty good numbers as well too for
Yeah,
Yeah.
boxing?
that's what I'm saying. The final card, the final boxing match aired on HBO Boxing was Cecilia Brækhus versus Kaylee Reese. 860 something thousand viewers, almost a million. That was their final show of HBO. And what that tells you is they were actually in better standing when they left than HBO is now.
You
Because
know
they
what
was
it was? They didn't want to ruin the brand of what they had in the past. They said, all right, we can see where it's going to go. While it's good, let's go.
and but also they saw what was coming.
Yeah.
They was HBO was ahead of the curve. Somebody over there knew media is about to change in
Yeah.
a way that we gotta and look, they got Max, they got HBO.
Oh, yo, they just announced a Haney program December 9th on pay-per-view.
Ow! I'm
On
buying
pay,
it.
on pay-per-view. I'm buying it, of course.
I'm gonna buy it because look, man, Devin out here fighting. I ain't poor. I got you, Devin. He out here fighting
No,
people
that's a
doing
good
what he
fight.
do.
On principle, for DAZN not refunding me the double charge, I will be watching the UK stream from LA.
Nah, bro. You gotta support, bro.
Well,
I'm
I,
supporting. I'm supporting because Devin's the only young stepper moving like a big stepper out here, bro. Look at
Young
this. He's building a. He's,
step out here, moving big out here,
young
lining.
stepper moving like a big stepper, but didn't want none of that Shakur smoke. All right,
Young
fuck
stop
out of
it!
here.
Stop
Young
it, Drew!
we don't
Stop
have
it,
to pay for
bro!
that out here, so
Stop it,
I'm
bro!
getting that for free,
The
and I'm
young
getting Canelo
Well,
Machado for free.
I ain't mad at him. He creating excitement. Like, yeah, you rob Loma. It's okay. Robberies happen. I'm cool, bro. Long
I
as
don't
you
even
out
know.
here
I don't
fighting,
even think it was a
he's
robbery.
robbing people out here, bro. It's
I
all
don't even
good,
think
bro.
it was
Long
a
as you
robbery, to
fighting
be
people
honest.
out here, it's all good, bro. You know what I'm saying? But
We
you
get
did.
a better deal because you got better fights and fights. So
You know what I'm saying?
we get that for subscription. That and Canelo Machado for subscription, man. You might get one of words for subscription.
You right, Base. I got that subscription too. I can't wait to watch
Rob my man Lomachenko. It's all good, Joey. Rob Lomachenko. Long as you out here fighting people, it's all gravy. But you got to create excitement in the sport. You know what I mean?
Devin's doing
So
his thing, man. Devin's doing his thing.
Devin doing what he doing,
They're
bro. He
big
in the
things in
news.
boxing.
He fighting people. Yo, listen, not for nothing. Lomachenko to Regis Prograis, gift or not, that's a tough sequence of fights, bruh.
That is. That
That's
is.
tough.
So I'm telling you, he's a big stepper out here,
Big
bro.
step out here, big Devin out here, stepping big out here. Round of applause for Devin Haney. What the fuck, bro? Where's my fucking confetti? Big Devin Haney out here, big step out here, big shoes out here, B.
What's the
Devin
pricing
Haney.
for you? What's the pricing for you guys over there for that fight?
Pay per
Probably
view, Michael. The fans don't win.
Let me see.
No,
Let me see. Let me see what the
to be
price.
honest with
It don't
you,
say the price, but I don't think it's gonna be 80, B.
pay per
I
view.
don't think
Yeah,
that.
I don't know. I don't
I
know.
think
if the
it'll
fans
be
win
50 or 60. I don't think it, at least maybe for the people that's already sub like me, maybe that shit'll be 50 and 60, right? But if you jumping on, it'll be 75. You know what I
I
mean?
tell you what, right? The best thing Devin did was not signing with Al. His career would be crap.
Yo, where would he be if he
fact.
believed the hype? Where would he? He
He
is
would be. He
making.
would be where Richardson is right now. Richardson's putting his name out there finally now.
He
Yeah.
had to start over because the people at Mayweather Promotions had him on the shelf, not doing nothing.
Not
Yeah,
doing shit.
I will
Richardson's
say,
gonna
I
say
will
he's
say
frustrated.
though, is he fighting after Heisman week?
December 9th. That's Teofimo's day. Teofimo's gonna want to fight that day as well too.
Look, man, I don't give a fuck. All right, I'm gonna watch both fights. I ain't no bitch. I got money. I can watch them both. Fuck you. Fuck you.
No, but Teofimo's not gonna go on pay per view. Bob's not gonna.
No, but I'm
He
saying,
ain't not gonna put him on pay per view. He probably gonna put him in there with Jose Ramirez, bro. Keep it real. Who you think he gonna fight on Heisman night? He don't give a fuck about Barboza.
No, someone he can knock out, but I mean, I like the Haney. I like the winners unifying.
I like that. Bro, I'm just saying, big step. He
Yeah.
doing big steps. He doing big things out here. Big step. Big shoes
Yeah,
out here.
man,
yo.
he doing shit. He doing shit. T.O. was already doing. All right.
You see, Richardson.
Yo, come on, you gotta give him
He's doing shit. T.O. was already doing.
Richardson stayed at TMT too long, man. Now he's got to make up for lost time now.
Lost time, bro.
Richardson set out his own mouth. He used to have to beg them for fight dates.
He has to beg.
Wow.
Imagine that.
Have to bet
And
for
ain't that what the fuck I was saying? Everybody getting mad at me. I'm like, yo, them dudes don't keep people busy, bro. They don't.
Find
No,
one
they
time
don't.
a year.
I think I mean, there's enough going on outside of the world of boxing that if Rick Glacier says it and Eddie Hearn heard it, I know I heard it. I heard it 4 days ago, and a part of what I heard, it's not just that stuff. It's that Al is looking for a buyer. He wants somebody to buy it off him. I don't know anybody that would though. I can't think of any. There's nothing to gain in buying the PBC. What do you get? Inactive Charlo, inactive Thurman,
Yeah,
irrelevant
them fighters
Gary.
have been ruined. They've been ruined. They've been
The
ruined.
fuck? What the fuck do you buy? What does that get you for your
What
money?
could I mean? Because the buyer isn't just going to sit there quiet like Al Haymon. He's going to expect them guys to be working their butt off to come bring the company back up, bring the
And
value back up, man.
and what doesn't get said enough, but I say it, is that the reason they are where they are is because the relationship between Stefan and Al was backwards. Stefan, you're not supposed to take marching orders from Al. He's supposed to take marching orders from you because you're supposed to make sure that things are on the up and up for your platform. That's where your fealty needs to be. And you just going with it. Yeah, so wise. He's so fucking smart, bro. He's this fucking wizard, bro. You let that motherfucker
And this
run that
goes
shit
back
into the
to
ground.
exactly. This goes back to what me and Fight Oracle always talk about. Most of these corporate executives, they're fucking idiots.
Yes.
They're
If you're
fucking
if
stupid.
I would have said I've been said, yo, listen, Boots Ennis may not be your fighter, Allen Heyman, but he is our fighter, and you get your budget from us. So here's what happens: either Danny Garcia fights him, or Danny Garcia don't fight on this platform. You better find somewhere else for him to fight. Same applies to Thurman. Boots is part of our bottom line, and you're going to help us. If you don't, you can take those two fighters. Hey, man, ship them out. Do what you got to do for them. But they won't fight here. We won't spend not a nickel, not a dime on them guys. Simple? Understand? That's how it's supposed to be. That if you get your budget from me, why the fuck would I answer to you? But the way it is, Steph is such a weasel, such a yeah, you get your marching orders from Al, bro. Anybody can see that. All the dumb shit that been going on over there. Yeah, anybody can see that. Like, yeah, you just sitting around listening to Al.
And that's why
All figured out.
after numerous invites, remember, Jules, we've invited Stefan. Come on, talk. We'll be nice.
Bro, I ain't even going front. I like really what you gonna say that I don't know when I've had you pegged for about 5 years. What's going on over there? What's really going on? I already knew. I don't need to hear it from you. All you gonna do is lie. Oh, I know. I can see it inside. I can see it. You let Al do what he want when quality control is on you. The betterment of the platform. It's on you. That's your responsibility. Now you let him do for him what's right for him, and you let the platform get run into the ground. You there to hold up that end of the bargain. That's why you there. Like, yo, listen, Al, man. Get.
What if they're waiting to see the pay-per-view of Canelo to determine if they're even going to continue with pay-per-views?
I'm saying. It could be that way. It could be. I said it last year. A last ditch effort may still be a day late and a dollar short. Like, I'm not, this is not made up. You can watch those videos from last year. I said it then. If you have a big year next year, the biggest year you've ever had, it may be too late. You think the people at Paramount, you think they're sitting there, well, look at what Ryan Davis. Do you understand who these people are? Like, you don't understand that boxing is small potatoes to these people? That the way they look at it, I could make a documentary about Ronald McDonald that would bring me more viewers than your fights.
Less money.
I could make a documentary about the Colonel, KFC.
How much bias could Haney in Progress do?
100,000.
Or a little over 100. this is where and that's being pessimistic. That's just being pessimistic based on the state of the market. There was always room for ingenue. There's always room for new ideas and promotion. So we'll see what they do. But realistically, a little over 100,000.
That should be the last pay per view of the year, right? Because then you have Canelo, this fight, and then you don't have another pay per view till then.
I mean, you
To be
should.
honest, the zone shouldn't be putting that fight.
David and Boo Boo.
Is that fight even getting made? Is that we don't even know if that's
Bro,
getting
Drew, we in September, Drew.
They announced that shit a long time ago. There was rumors about that shit like 2 months
No,
ago.
they announced some rumors about that shit. It ain't made, bro.
The rumors 2 months ago. Like it's not made.
It ain't made. And we going into October. So think about it. It's the end of September. We going into October. That leaves you November to announce it and promote it, because remember, you need 6 to 8 weeks to promote the show.
I mean, how much fucking promotion can you do with those two guys? At the end of the day, like who the fuck cares about either or?
Just saying, bro. That's the standard model. 6 to 8, really, ideally 8 weeks. Ideally, that it can't. You can't. I'm like, yo, dog. If you announced it for October, right? Let's just say you announced it for, that's 4 weeks from now, bro. That's 4 weeks. The end of October is 4 weeks. So you would have to announce it now for November and now for December to promote it.
Like, to be honest, like they should have put that fight on pay per view across there. Like, if you're gonna put that fight on, it should be subscription. It should. There's one belt on the line. I know Devin was undisputed champion, but he's not like a knockout puncher. Regis has never been a draw. You know.
Look, this is the thing, right? For the money that they want, they got to do it this way. I hear it. I understand. And it would have been a gamble to say, look, let's make it part of the regular schedule because we may get it back in terms of subscriptions. But will you? So this way, there's less risk. Like, Devin, we got a mill for you, bro. And we got a mill for you too, Regis. The rest of what y'all want, get it on the pay-per-view. Because we ain't. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So you're being you're speculating skeptically 100, but
yeah,
you got to be looking at 300, or it's a failure, isn't it?
No, it's only a failure if you spent more than it made. So if you don't spend much, then it doesn't fail.
Well, you say that, but when the numbers get to the public, that all right, if they spent like little or nothing, and it only does 100,000 buys, that's all the public are going to see is how much buys it did.
Yeah, let's put it this way, Beats. Let's say that the operational cost for the show come out to roughly 2 mil, 3 mil, right? That's the bulk of it. That's what it costed. You more than cover that with 100,000 buys.
Yeah, but here's what I'm saying. Like, the public don't care about what the operational costs were. All they're going to look at is how much buys it did.
Yes.
And when you see 100,000, it doesn't look good.
No.
It don't look good. It looks bad.
Does the fight belong on pay-per-view? No. Devin wants a lot of money, though. That's what it is. If we're going to get down to it, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Regis just fought. He wasn't on pay-per-view. He just fought. It's not him. Devin won a lot of money.
Ideally, what we need now is an exceptional fight. And then the light welterweight division on the zone can build off that, because they're not the only two players there.
They got a lot of guys. They got Liam Barros. They got Dalton Smith. They got fucking Regis. They got a lot of guys at that weight, man. Richardson Hitchens.
A lot of players.
Got fucking Jack Casserole. Jack is there. He about to fight Linares.
Yeah, the tickets are selling really well.
They got a lot of guys in that way. They got a couple of fighters in that way, so we can see what it do. But in a nutshell, if it's a pay-per-view, it's like, think about it. Taylor versus Lopez was not a pay-per-view on ESPN, but what was? Haney Lomachenko.
Right.
Now, I don't think it's because Loma wanted to. I don't think, because that's not that guy. Now, look, go on the zone. Once again, and he's on pay-per-view. So it seems to me that, well, the amount of money that he wants for the fight, maybe it's in excess of 3 or 4, whatever it is, it requires them to bill it as a pay-per-view to get him what he wants.
Yep.
That's another thing that needs to change. That Devin, you cool, bro. You know, it is what it is. But it's too much of that in the American market. That a lot of guys think like you want money that don't exist and that may never exist. You know, like Thurman. What's the real reason Thurman has only boxed once in the last 3 years? What's the real reason? You want ridiculous money to not fight in ridiculous. Yeah, you want big money for what are not big fights. That is what it is. That's it. Broner, Eddie offered you Connor 2 times.
Wow.
What do you think you're supposed to get paid, bro? He like bro, you would have got some M's off of that. What kind of money do you want, bro? I'm 100% sure. I'm 100% sure Eddie offered him at least an M or two for Connor Ben. At least. Eddie not dumb.
See,
What you want? 5 M's?
Broner knew what it was though. Eddie was trying to use his brother as a stepping stone.
Well, that's the fuck you are, bro. Own it. Yeah, you was yo, listen, Derek ain't never turned down a bag because the fight was too hard. He didn't.
Yeah, Derek was to fight Jack.
Derek, that's why I fuck with like he out here fighting things and getting money. Sometimes he wins, sometimes he lose, but what he always do is fight.
I tell you what, Derek would do better than Joe in both fights that Joe against Jack. I tell you that now. Until Jack lands that finishing punch, you do way better. Because Derek will get up close on Jack.
And now they still no, but now they still trying to shake. Yeah, Zhang is top 4 because he like, huh?
Because he beat Joe twice.
So we just gonna skip AJ, right? That's what we gonna do. We would skip it, like, cause AJ, like, bro, go ahead, make the fight, bro. Y'all, I'm so sick of you, motherfuckers.
And now apparently Eddie would never put Zhang and AJ in the ring together.
Even though
he tried to make it years ago, but okay.
Like,
why is it that the immediate reaction whenever somebody does well in heavyweight, the immediate reaction from the fans is just to shit on AJ, saying, "Oh, he fuck up AJ."
AJ would never. Listen, bro, I'm telling you,
listen, nobody else. It's always AJ.
They odds is not right. Zhang is faster than Joe. You understand? He's faster than Joe. Do you understand?
Yep.
Joe, not faster than AJ. The mistakes that Zhang capitalized off with Joe, I'm just telling you, AJ don't make them. Now, of course, if Zhang could, this is true of almost any heavyweight. If Zhang could get in with the backhand, yeah, he could knock AJ out. I'm not telling you he can't, but I'm telling you that AJ is a better guy than Joe Joyce. I don't understand why you guys like. What do you think Joe does better than AJ, dog? What?
He does nothing. You see the not like, okay, I know it was only Hellenius, right? But the final punch.
What's that shit? Recency bias.
No, you see that punch that AJ landed on Hellenius, the final punch. Joe's never thrown a punch like that in his career.
No,
never.
And all his damage is accumulative damage. Joe was never explosive. He was consistent. He's consistent. Boop, 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 boop. Consistent. He don't got that ming. That's not Joe. Joe don't got that ming. Never had that.
No, he doesn't have that. He doesn't have that.
Joe ain't never had feet coming forward. Look, I'm not a hater because I'm not one of these people that think you got to throw the fighter away just because they lost. But I'm just saying that there's something in common between the people that he beat, with the exception of Daniel. Stavern is shorter. Hammer's shorter. Parker's shorter. When you bearing down on these guys, you can run them over. But a guy that's eye level to you, that's kind of what Zhang had. They're like, yo, I ain't little, fam. And I don't need to be all in here to punch you in the face. I'm tall, too. I got length, too. I catch you, too, on your way in because you only fight one way.
Yeah.
I'm forward.
Even Christian Hammer was touching Joe up.
Too much. All them overhand rights. Like, yo, see, you can take that from Christian Hammer. Take that from him, bro.
Yeah.
Better stop that shit. Nah, Joe drunk the Kool-Aid, bro. He drunk his Kool-Aid. He did like, what are you gonna do when you punch me in the face and nothing? Yeah, all right, bro. See, you fucked up thinking that bullshit. You let Zhang punch you in your face, and you found out. Because he said that. I see what he said. What are you gonna do when you punch me in the face and nothing happens? Oh dear. Shouldn't have said that. Because something did happen when Zhang hit your ass.
I tell you, he was a beaten man going in that ring. See, Joe took that fight because he felt pressured that if he doesn't take this shot now, that Frank, the way he's treating him, is going to squeeze him out. You know what I mean? He didn't go for it. And like,
I don't think he should. I said it after that. Like, bro, don't take that fight, bro. Just take that L, be cool, fight two guys, come back later. Zhang is older, wash him. Don't take that fight.
You see Frank trying to cash it, like Frank trying to retire Joe?
Right after the fight. he might need to retire. Like, bro, y'all was just putting him up there with George Foreman. He's better than AJ, and he's number 3 in the division. All this fly from in a matter of
beautiful.
Months.
It's beautiful, isn't it? It's beautiful.
It only took a few months.
After the AJ and Franklin fight, he said he literally has an interview saying, "Oh, yo, Joe Joyce could beat Dylan White and AJ in the same night."
Yeah.
And then 6 months later, look at where we're at now.
I seen that high-field boxing dumb shit. Oh, Zhang is number 3 or 4. AJ, like, yo, listen,
They're
man.
too reactionary.
Y'all motherfuckers.
Yeah.
They don't know nothing about y'all motherfuckers don't know nothing about boxing. I'll just say this. If AJ were to fight him, I got AJ. Could he get knocked out? Oh, yeah. But that's true of all heavyweights. That's true of all of them. AJ fundamentals, you call it hesitant. I call it defensively sound. If you shooting your jab and you get countered, you're not defensively sound, Joe. But AJ, he got that. Like, hey, motherfucker. Yeah, you don't like it in the middle of a round because you want people's heads to fall off. But he got that. Hey, motherfucker. Touch you, motherfucker. Pop you, motherfucker. Like, he not just gonna go crazy.
Yeah. I like to see AJ and Zhang. I hope that's next.
If they can't get the Wilder fight, I'd like to see the winner of Gassiev and Wallen, to be honest with you, in December.
I only want to see AJ fight the winner if it's Valine. I'm not gonna lie to you. If the winner is Gassiev, and I think it's gonna be, stay away from him. I'm just being real. Don't play with that little fat man. Don't play with him.
Shit, man. We gotta walk.
Bro, that dude got pieces missing from his beard, and he still come outside. He don't got nothing to lose.
Oh my god,
bro, he got patches, got alopecia patches and shit, and he still come outside. Like, bro, I wouldn't even come outside.
You think Gassiev could be a force heavy?
Yeah.
Depending on the fight, depending on the fighter.
He smokes Hergovich. He smokes Hergovich, bro.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
He smokes Hergovich. Yes, he does, bro. Trust me. Trust me, bro. I'm telling you.
I would tell you this. The heavyweights that are susceptible to him are the ones that will punch with him. Those are the ones he could get. Now, for example, if you told me Garcia versus Huey Fury, okay, I got Garcia. If you told me Garcia versus Martin Bacoli, 50-50. 50-50. It's a real tight puncher, Garcia, and that's what makes him dangerous. The hooks he throw, it don't be no funny looking shit. It be something tight, something short, real small on the inside. That's the shit that's why Povetkin was so good, because his hooks were real tight. His uppercuts was real tight. You almost didn't see him. Watch him in slow motion. When he caught Dillian with that shit, it wasn't no big Navarrete. Oh, it wasn't no out of here, Ken. It was a
motherfucker. When is Gassiev thing? Is that this weekend?
This weekend, bro.
But I don't think they got a British broadcaster. They got a broadcaster.
I don't think they got an American one.
I believe it might have been on the Zone, actually. I could be wrong. Wait.
On the Zone?
I have to go find the poster. Yeah. Oh no, I just said the Dimitri Salita promotions, actually. So
then it might be Dimitri Salita has a channel, and if there's no U.S. broadcast partner, then maybe he'll air it on his channel, right? Maybe he will here in America if there is no U.S. broadcast partner. I'm hoping that Top Rank or somebody or ESPN pick it up, but it's just hard to imagine that they would, because why would ESPN want to show a Russian versus a Swede
in Turkey?
In Turkey. between 2 slices of bread.
That's crazy.
It's like it's certain shit you know they not gonna fuck with. Certain shit like I don't know if they're gonna show that shit. I don't know if they're gonna show that shit.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Listen, man, it's been a
I'm about
funny
to
ass.
find out right now.
It's been a funny ass live. I'm about to shut it down.
Yeah, man.
Catch. I'm gonna do another one this weekend for all these motherfucking fights. I catch y'all on the next one.
All right.
Take care, bro.
Peace.
Peace.